Parles-tu français?
¿Hablas español?
Parli italiano?
If you've used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based technique teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world. With lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/acast. Spelled BABBEL.com/acast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Grief doesn't keep a calendar. Anxiety doesn't clock out after 5. Depression doesn't care if it's your busy season. But support can still fit into your life. With Grow, you can find a therapist who meets you where you are. They connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions. You can search by insurance, provider specialty, treatment methods, and more to find a therapist who works for you. And if it's not the right fit, switching is easy. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Find therapy on your time. Evenings, weekends, and cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/acast today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/acast. growtherapy.com/acast. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
You know how everything's a subscription now? Music, movies, even socks. I swear if
To continue this ad, please upgrade to Premium Plus Platinum.
What? No, anyway, Blue Apron.
This is a pay-per-listen ad. Please confirm your billing.
Oh, that's annoying. At least with the new Blue Apron, there's no subscription needed. Get delicious meals delivered without the weekly plan.
Wait, no subscription?
Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Welcome to Movie Oubliette, the film review podcast for movies that most people have mercifully forgotten.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Conrad, and in each episode, we drag a forsaken film out of the oubliette,
Discuss it and judge it to decide whether it should be set free
or whether it should be thrown back and consigned to oblivion forever. We review the films others tend to forget. Come with us and open up the movie oubliette. Patron's Choice. Welcome to episode 188 of Movie Oubliette, the realm-spanning podcast for forgotten fantastical films with me, Conrad, watching ABBA Voyage for the 4th time in Cambridge, UK.
Oh, and me, Dan, finally watching M. Night Shyamalan's The Village in Melbourne, Australia.
Ooh. We focus on forgotten fantasy, sci-fi and horror films because we love a fellowship of heroes going on a prophesied quest, modern-day scientists transported back in time, and melting evil sorcerers.
Oh, yeah. You always have to melt them.
You do. So you finally saw Shyamalan's The Village.
Yeah. It's been on my watch list for when did it come out? Over a decade ago. It's been
nearly 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, almost 2 decades. Yeah, it's good. Really good. Shyamalan is very hit and miss for me. A lot of misses. So many misses. Yes. I didn't enjoy The Lady in the Water that we covered on the pod. But The Village, it's a good movie. The only thing is I knew the twist before I watched the movie. And, I mean, it's been 20 years. I really wished I didn't know the twist. That must have blown people's minds in cinemas when it first came out. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who haven't seen the movie, but yeah, it's a good movie. I would say I would rate it maybe number 3, top 3 Shyamalan movies.
Yes, I'm hugely fond of James Newton Howard's score for The Village. This is back in the days when Shyamalan still had James Newton Howard with him along for the journey. And this one has Hilary Hahn, the violinist, as a featured soloist, sort of playing the role of the lead character in the movie.
Okay.
Sonically.
Yeah.
But there are just some moments in it that give me goosebumps, like when Joaquin Phoenix's character gathers up the blind lady who's the main character and just lifts her up out of the way as she's just about to be gotten by one of the evil creatures that raid the village occasionally. The soundtrack disappears and it just turns into this phantasmagoria of music and slow-mo with him cradling her in his arms, and it's just like, oh, this is what cinema's about. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, I love it.
It's good. Highly rated movie, I would say.
Yes.
And meanwhile, ABBA?
Yeah, I have been to see the virtual ABBA live show 4 times.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. I have an excuse this time. Not only did I find a bunch of friends who hadn't seen it who wanted to see it, but also they have changed the lineup. There are 4 new songs in there.
Okay.
So why they didn't have Money, Money, Money in there from the very beginning, I don't know, because it was a massive crowd pleaser.
Oh, yes, of course.
Which, went down a storm. It's amazing. And it's just lovely vicariously to have, like, my friends didn't know what to expect. Lights go down, it starts. ABBA rises up virtually through the floor. There's lights flying towards them. And, the people next to me just said, oh, my God. And it's just nice to recapture the same experience that I had the first time I saw it, because I don't know what they were expecting, but they were blown away and they were buzzing for days singing ABBA songs. So, yeah, it's good.
Amazing. I didn't know it was still playing.
It is still selling out.
Wow.
Everybody loves it. They thought it was going to be like a pop-up that lasted for a year, and it's been like
that's what I thought.
5-6 years now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So for the anniversary, they actually changed the lineup and added some new songs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. I hope they keep going. It's great.
Yeah. Okay, mailbag, Conrad. Let's get into it.
Well, we don't have a huge amount of mailbag this time. Not many people commented on Dead Birds, but as always, the ever-reliable Serge of Cold Crush Pictures got in touch. Hello, Serge.
Hello, Serge.
And he said, not sure what the point of Dead Birds is. It's a big pet peeve of mine when movies choose to depict the Confederacy, but for no particular reason. It deliberately evokes the horrors of slavery and yet has absolutely nothing to say about it, save to spare us from caring about most of the victims. I'm not usually rooting against films when they come up on Movie Oubliette, but I'm absolutely fine with tossing this one back in.
Yeah. I feel like there wasn't a lot of meaning behind the movie, apart from just jump scares.
Yeah.
It had so much potential. I still stand by that.
Oh, yeah. I think the overriding theme we got at the end of that was great idea for a setting and a mashup and a context. Didn't do anything with it. But, potential.
Yes. Thanks, Serge, for getting in touch. And please, anyone else, just give us a message on all our socials as well. Conrad, what's the movie for today? Was it chosen by a patron, maybe?
Well, it may well have been, yes. Ryan A. Potter picked this one, so I'm going to just hop on over to the Oubliette and find out what it is.
Ooh.
I seem to be in a lovely woodland glade. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, tranquil.
What's that noise? Is it crickets? Oh, it's getting louder. Oh my God, it's driving me insane.
Oh, Conrad, come back.
Whoa, you're a real dragon nut.
Oh, thank goodness that wolf came to the rescue. Got the film.
Yeah, handy. What do you have?
So I have the 1982 straight-to-video animated fantasy film produced and directed by Jules Bass and Arthur Rankin Jr., The Flight of Dragons, which is written by Romeo Muller and based on the books by Peter Dickinson and Gordon R. Dickson, starring the voice talents of John Ritter, Victor Buono, James Gregory, James Earl Jones, and Harry Morgan.
So what happens in this fantasy tale?
Well, in this fantasy tale, the kindly green wizard Carolinus realizes that magic is dying in his world because humanity is becoming too obsessed with logic and science. To save his people, he summons a champion from the future, the author Peter Dickinson, a part-time board game designer and scientist who thinks dragons are biologically plausible. The plan immediately goes off the rails when a spell backfires, trapping Peter inside the body of a young dragon named Gorbash. He's tasked with stopping the terrifying red wizard Omadon, voiced by James Earl Jones, doing his absolute best Vader in a bathrobe, who wants to crush humanity with fear. Peter has to learn to fly, not by believing in himself, but by calculating lift, drag, and hydrogen buoyancy. He's joined by a classic crew of questing adventurers. Sir Orrin Neville Smythe, a knight with possibly the most British name ever, a talking wolf named Arag, and Smurgle, a grumpy elder dragon with far too few vowels in his name. Together, they march towards Omadon's lair while Peter tries occasionally to court Princess Melisande, mostly by explaining the chemical reactions happening in his stomach. Can Peter defeat the ultimate incarnation of evil by aggressively describing science theory to him? Will Princess Melisande have a character arc that extends beyond wistfully looking at the horizon? And will the animation budget survive the final battle? Find out after the break.
Oh, and thanks again to Ryan A. Potters who chose this for us.
Yes, can't wait.
Ooh.
Movie Oubliette, heavenly odysseys.
And we're back talking about Ryan A. Potter's pick, The Flight of Dragons. Dan, I don't think either of us had seen this before.
No, it's technically a double blind, but again, it's a patron's choice foremost. I don't even know anything about Rankin Bass Productions.
No.
I think the only thing I've seen from their production output is Thundercats. And I only vaguely remember watching Thundercats as a kid. I haven't seen anything else. None of their stop motion stuff, which is, I guess, their most famous.
I think it is. They're like an American institution, so much in the way that in the UK we have Nick Park's things like Wallace and Gromit and so on.
Right, yes. Aardman.
Yeah, or Raymond Briggs the Snowman, which was a huge hit here in the 80s. This seems to be like an institutional, cultural touchstone ever since the 60s. So things like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in 1964, Frosty the Snowman, 69, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, 1970. These are staples that are held deep in the hearts of boomers and Gen Xers across America, I think. I've never seen any of them.
No.
I don't even know if they've aired here.
I've heard of them, but I have personally not seen any of them either. And they're all straight to TV, right?
Yeah, TV specials. I think they got a little bit more ambitious in some cases, like The Last Unicorn, which is a feature-length fantasy film with an amazing voice cast. Jeff Bridges, Mia Farrow, Christopher Lee. I think that was released theatrically in 1982.
Okay. Right.
And Melinda from Retroblasting showed me that while I was in Atlanta because she's very fond of it. And that's quite deep and melancholy, quite sad.
Right.
So that stuck with a whole generation of kids. But otherwise, yeah, this completely, I don't know, it's just a cultural bubble that does not extend beyond the US.
Yeah, well, it doesn't seem to as well. And I don't want to discredit the studio, but a lot of the animation was not done in America. It was all done in Japan.
It was, yeah. It was all outsourced. And eventually, I think some of the names that ended up working on their productions, I think they ended up forming Studio Ghibli.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I read that too.
There's this cross-pollination between the two culturally that wouldn't have happened without Rankin Bass, which is fascinating.
Yeah. So 2D animation wasn't really their main animation style. It was mainly stop motion.
Yeah.
But they did do quite a few 2D animations, and especially through the 80s.
Yeah, and their TV series, of course, like Thundercats, that was all 2D animation.
Yeah.
It has to be said the quality of the animation is not high. I mean, if you compare it to something like Disney or the Disney Runaways, Don Bluth, Secret of Nim, which we looked at earlier this year,
Yes.
the frame rate is quite low. I mean, I don't even think this is 2s sometimes. I think you're lucky to get a couple of frames a second in some cases.
Yeah, I think they do the thing that a lot of anime does, where if it doesn't require movement, they just don't put any change of frames in there. It's just still. But I do agree, some of the animation is quite wonky. And there's a few things I would like to point out. The dragons, when they're flying, there's barely any movement in the wings.
Yeah.
They're basically just hot air balloons kind of floating in space. Some of the facial animation with the humans looks, I don't want to put it too negatively, but quite ugly looking. Then it's not very beautiful face animation. And especially some of the scenes with Melisande, who's supposed to be this beautiful princess, enchanted lady, she looks cross-eyed.
Oh no.
A lot of the scenes.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So yeah, I do agree. The animation isn't incredible. I do love the background illustration stuff, though. That looks like it's exquisite. Like it looks straight from like a storybook illustration. Like there's it looks like a colored pencil almost, like illustrations. You can see the lines of the color and texture. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think it's probably based on the illustrations from Peter Dickinson's book, which bears the title, if not the plot of this movie. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Wayne Anderson, I think it is based sort of on his style because it's not watercolor, it's not ink and paint, it's pencil, isn't it? It looks like colored pencils.
Yeah, you can see the lines, the texture. Yeah,
so it does have a unique aesthetic, which is pretty to look at, and it does have moments of special effects animation with backlit bright magic and so on occasionally, for those sorts of scenes. So it does have some of that stuff that we talked about on The Secret of Nim. But you're right, when you're dealing with the flight of dragons or action sequences and you're expecting something that will be graceful and beautifully animated and soaring, and you're just getting frame, frame. It's a bit disappointing, and it limits what they can do.
It doesn't have the fluidity of the sort of rotoscoping stuff that Disney does. Like it feels quite janky.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. Kind of stuttery, I guess. I don't know.
It does. It looks like Saturday morning cartoon standard of animation, which we talked about on the Secret of Nim sequel on our minisode. It clearly shows all of the evidence of its limited budget. But this wasn't a theatrical film. This was a special that dropped straight onto VHS, I understand.
Right, yeah. It did remind me a little bit of the Ralph Bakshi. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, I think so.
His stuff, like, so we did the Lord of the Rings as one of our minisodes.
Yeah.
And I did watch Wizards as well.
Oh, wow.
Before watching Lord of the Rings. And it has a similar style and things looking a little bit ugly and a little bit like not as fluid as it could be. It's interesting that Rankin Bass also did The Hobbit and The Return of the King as animated movies. Both of those movies came out before this one. So they have done like full fantasy 2D animated movies before this.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know, because they outsourced it as well. And they outsourced it to different animation studios in Japan. So I don't know which did which. Whether there was a consistency with the animation, especially with the 2D stuff, I don't know.
No, I think it does show those limitations in terms of the end result. So this was animated by Topcraft in Japan, who also animated 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, Frosty's Winter Wonderland, The Hobbit, The Return of the King, and The Last Unicorn.
Right.
And then went on to work on Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind.
My favorite Studio Ghibli film. It's amazing.
There you go. Yeah, so many of the people who worked on this went on to work on that.
Amazing.
Interestingly.
Okay. Right. Yeah, so we should talk about the story. So from first outset of watching this, it did remind me of, the Lord of the Rings animated movie and Wizards. But yeah, a lot of sort of fantasies of the time, like Black Cauldron, kind of similar to this.
Yeah.
Heavy metal was more for adults, but kind of similar vein. And almost like Pete's Dragon as well. I know that's live action with animation.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, definitely felt very Lord of the Rings influenced.
Yes, you have wizards. You have a party of however many people who have got to go to a specific place to retrieve a specific artifact and destroy an evil wizard that's otherwise going to destroy the world.
Yeah, I mean, they have to travel to Omodon's The Realm of the Red Death, which it just looked very similar to Mordor. Gormley's Keep had a very similar look to the sort of the gates of Mordor as well. Yeah, it felt very influenced by Lord of the Rings. And it's interesting that it's called The Flight of Dragons when it is based, there's one part of the book, The Flight of Dragons by Peter Dickinson, that they use in this movie, which is sort of describing how dragons fly in a very scientific way.
Yes.
So they have to eat gems and limestone.
Yes.
And there's some sort of chemical reaction that creates gas and they breathe fire because there's some sort of thimble or something in their mouth that creates an electric spark. It's all very scientifically explained.
It is, yes. And this is all born out of Peter Dickinson's original thought, which is how do dragons fly because they're too big? You know, the wingspan is not big enough to carry a creature of that size. So he came up with this idea that they are essentially hot air balloons that let off steam in order to come back down again.
Yes.
So they don't soar and swoop and fly in your Game of Thrones or Neverending Story Luck Dragon kind of way. They just sort of float about like big lumps, which is interesting.
Yes.
And Peter Dickinson thought that this would be just like a comic pamphlet, stocking filler, small thing, not a huge project. But then along came a book publisher or packager who wanted to make a big deal out of it, commissioned illustrations by Wayne Anderson, shopped it around to a big publisher, and then Rankin Bass bought it. A quote from the author's website, "They bought it sight unseen without apparently realising there was no story or plot in what I'd written. Undeterred, they went ahead and bought the entire plot of The Dragon and George from its author Gordon Dickson. The film seems to get shown pretty well every Christmas. Scraps of my theory crop up here and there, and the hero is named Sir Peter Dickinson.
Yes.
Nobody asked me, of course, but that's all I have to do with it."
Yeah. It's mainly based from that book that you just mentioned, The Dragon and the George by Gordon Dickson.
Yeah.
I mean, it's based. So I did read the synopsis of his book, and it's different.
Yes. Very different.
It's more of a typical fantasy rescue plotline. So there is still the time travel in which Jim, not Peter, has to go back in time because his fiance, in this weird experiment that they're doing, she gets transported back in time. Her name's Angie, and then he has to go back in time to rescue her. But when he goes back in time, he inexplicably gets transported into Gorbash, his body, the dragon, which is also in this film. Not the same way.
No.
But yeah, the plot, the goal of the book is for him to rescue Angie, who has been kidnapped by Briag, the bad dragon.
Yeah.
And all the other characters are in the book as well. So you still have Brian Neville Smythe, not Sir Oren. You still have Smeargle and Arag and Danielle, and there's an ogre and the sand mercs and the worm. But they're all kind of different, slightly different plot. And how they meet all these different characters.
Yeah, I think the method of travelling in the Gordon Dickson book is astral projection, which is all very 70s.
Yeah. And also it's called The Dragon and the George because dragons refer to humans as Georges after the story of St. George and the Dragon, which is, again, another influence into this movie. Sort of that classic medieval tale of a knight slaying a dragon, St. George.
Yeah. So Rankin Bass's regular adapter, the screenplay writer, Romeo Muller, they got him to reconfigure this and come up with a story where the central theme is about the loss of magic as it gives way to science. And that's what they're trying to hold on to.
Yeah, it's the main difference from the book to the movie. This introduction of science conquers all. And we need a man of science from the future to help us make a magical land that we can retire to and be protected from the humans because they don't need magic anymore. But they still need magic for inspiration. And that's it.
They do.
Which is an odd moral to the story or sort of conclusion to the story.
It is, yeah. And it makes me think of some of the other films that were coming out around this time, and it almost ties it in with, the loss of imagination, the loss of your childhood sense of wonder.
Yeah.
Things like The Never-Ending Story, where he has to defeat the nothing, which is this encroaching darkness, and save Fantasia by reading books and imagining stuff. And not letting that part of him die is very much in keeping with that sort of theme of the early 80s, that we're worried that this growing science and technology that's happening all around us is taking something away from the innocence and magic of childhood.
Except in this movie, it's the opposite. So we're using science to defeat magic, to save magic with science?
Yes.
I don't get it. It kind of contradicts itself, which is really weird. So he doesn't defeat Omadon by believing in magic again. He defeats Omadon by not believing in magic.
Yes. And so the whole point of the movie is that you have to achieve a balance, that they must coexist and not destroy each other. So in Peter, you have this man who is so excited. I mean, he is thrilled to go to this magical realm and see a dragon for the first time, but he still wants to explain how it works. But nevertheless, he still appreciates it for the wonderful thing that it is, even if he does understand exactly what chemical reaction is happening in its stomach to create buoyancy and lift.
Yeah. So he's in a dragon. He's in Gorbash, and Gorbash is just like in the back of his mind or something, and as a consciousness.
Possessed him.
yeah. He is possessed Gorbash, and he's on this quest to go to Omadon's realm to steal his crown, because Omadon has put this curse or this spell over all the other dragons to protect his crown. So he has his unlimited power with his red crown. And along the way, Peter as Gorbash meets all these wonderful and colourful characters that do a lot of the heavy lifting, I find.
Yeah.
I don't think Peter does that much in this movie.
No, he defeats the big bad right at the very end when Gorbash, like all of the other dragons, is lulled into sleep by the magic flute.
Yes.
he reappears, separates in some way. I'm not quite sure how it works. And yeah, spoilers, defeats Omadon by just ranting scientific theorem at him.
And equations chemical reactions. It's an odd scene.
It's very peculiar. And Omadon is just like, I'm melting. And that's the end of that.
Yes.
He isn't the most inspiring character in terms of agency. He doesn't do a lot.
He doesn't.
There are a lot of people that help him along the way, but there are a lot of them. And they only seem to pop up in one scene to do one thing.
Yeah, and then join the group. And the group just gets larger and larger and larger. Yeah, and they get into some sort of predicament, and then a new character is introduced to save them. And then they join the group, and then they get into another predicament, and then another character is introduced to save them. It gets a tiny bit repetitive and almost episodic in a way.
Yeah,
I mean, there are some clear ad breaks.
There are.
It fades to black, and then it fades back in. Yeah, it's all these kind of like episodic incidents that they have to overcome, or events that they have to overcome, and then ad break, and then the next episodic event, ad break, and then it kind of keeps going like that. In saying that, I did like some of the sort of more scientific explanations that Peter has. So when he's figuring out how to fly, he goes on about the gems and the limestone and the thimble and the gas, and that's really interesting. There's one scene where there's this big acid worm that surrounds them, and he realizes it's sulfur based, so he ignites it and just like explodes into flame because it's flammable. That's interesting.
Yeah,
but there aren't that many other things apart from defeating Omadon that Peter's supposed to be the chosen one, right? He's the man of science. He is the only one that can save the day. And yes, he does do that, but he doesn't do much else.
And also, he is the 777th son.
Yes.
So, we were dealing with the seventh son recently.
Yeah.
This is a whole other scale of sevens that we're dealing with. Yeah, he doesn't do much. I mean, in much the same way that in the Never-Ending Story, I'm going to keep talking about that, the main character, Atreyu, doesn't achieve anything. And he openly says that to the Empress at the end. Like, I haven't done anything. Why did this all need to happen? Like, I've lost my horse. This has been brutal. What was the point? And her answer was, well, that's because this is the only way we could have gotten the person that we actually need, which is the reader.
Yeah.
Because it's engaged the reader. They've been with you the whole time. I'm not quite sure what the point is here, why we needed this, but maybe just for the big bad
right at the end,
defeat right at the end.
Yeah.
And I mean, in terms of the band getting bigger and bigger as it goes along, sometimes even the incident that they come up against, they just apologize, like Giles, the elven outlaw, who ensnares them in a net with dragon roses on. And then along comes Danielle, who Sir Orin assumes is a man, and then, of course, she takes her hat off and reveals this mass of red hair, I noticed. She comes along and frees them and tells Giles off, and he apologizes and joins them on their quest. So sometimes even the antagonists join the group.
Yes, I did. I mean, as cliche as it was, I did enjoy the quest. Like, it did all the things that I want in a quest. You have all of these foes that they have to overcome, which was really interesting. You've got the ogre scene, the acid worm, the sand mercs with their chattering sound that drives only the dragons crazy, or only the animals crazy.
No, I think Sir Orin was struggling as well.
Okay,
so,
all right.
Yeah, you have to sing to yourself, don't you?
Yeah. And then there was this big green smoke hand that Omadon summons that makes everyone despair and give up and become all despondent. So I loved all that. Like, that's the sort of quest that I want to see.
There's a big ogre at one point that destroys an entire town. And I mean, that's quite shocking that everybody dies.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say as well. It's not really for young kids.
No.
There's a lot of death in this movie.
Yeah. They are all resurrected again once peace and magic is restored to the realm and Omadon is destroyed. I think everybody wakes up and stands up and it's all fine.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of retcon moments. But, I mean, does Smeagol come back?
No, I don't think he does. Arag does, doesn't he? And Danielle does.
Yes. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I thought maybe they're in heaven. Maybe this magical realm was just heaven and everyone's died and gone to heaven.
Oh.
I don't know.
In that case, I don't feel quite so bad about Princess Melisande leaving it to join Peter in the real world, which, of course, we have to do.
Yeah, that ending was odd. Again, I don't know about the themes about the movie because it seems to completely disregard magic. Like if Peter defeats magic with science and then he goes back to his future time and Melisande also goes back with him, leaves her magic behind, and they pawn off all these magical items
yes,
for money.
They do.
For money. It doesn't quite add up that magic is that important.
No, it's very true. It does undermine its central premise when he starts pawning off his magical shield to buy himself a cottage in the countryside to live with Princess Melisande.
Yes.
So something to be profited from and admired from afar. I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
No.
Grief doesn't keep a calendar. Anxiety doesn't clock out after 5. Depression doesn't care if it's your busy season. But support can still fit into your life. With Grow, you can find a therapist who meets you where you are. They connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions. You can search by insurance, provider specialty, treatment methods, and more to find a therapist who works for you. And if it's not the right fit, switching is easy. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Find therapy on your time. Evenings, weekends, and cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/ACAST today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/ACAST. growtherapy.com/ACAST. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Parles-tu français?
¿Hablas español?
Parli italiano?
If you've used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based technique teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world. With lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/acast. Spelled BABBEL.com/acast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
We should talk about Princess Melisande.
Yes.
Because, okay, we have Danielle as a woman of agency and who contributes actively to the quest and is impressive and fun for the few short scenes that she's in before she dies. Princess Melisande, on the other hand, we learn was adopted by Coriolanus when she was young. And you also learn that Sir Orin met her when she was 5.
Yes.
And fell in love with her.
Yes. And he's a full-grown man at that stage.
Yeah. He's like 30 or something.
Yeah, he's got a moustache. He's not a child.
He's not. No, he's got full body armor and a moustache. And this man pledges his love to a 5-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah. And then gets pissed off when he gets cucked by Peter, who, by the way, is a dragon at this point.
Yes.
And Peter says when he first meets her, wow, you're my fantasy girl that I've written in my book. Because he's writing a book about this.
Yes.
He's ostensibly writing the book of this story. So he's got this woman of his fantasy. They know nothing about each other, but they are passionately in love. Very much like The Seventh Son, where we had two characters that were just like, yeah, we're prophesied to be together. So let's just do it, I guess.
Let's just do it. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. They have a kiss that we don't see.
No, not directly, I
Not
don't
really.
think.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and then Sir Oren, gets pissed off that his love has been taken from him. But then he meets Danielle, so all is well.
All's good. Yeah, there's another woman on the scene, so it's fine.
There's another woman. Yeah. It's odd, yeah. And Melisande spends most of the movie in this kind of hysterical slumber, seeing sort of premonitions of what they're up to.
She's basically, after Coriolanus's crystal ball fails him, because he's a man of a certain age, all of his magical spells just sort of fizzle out and seep to the floor. It happens to everyone, I guess. Melisande, bless her, somebody points out, one of his brothers, because he has all of the wizards are his brothers, they point out that Melisande has second sight.
Yes.
So he just uses her as a television
to see them,
for the rest of the movie. While she goes steadily more insane, which, it's not a great role for your main female protagonist, unfortunately.
No, it's not. No.
And a bit creepy.
Yeah, it is a bit of an odd film in the fact that there is, I guess Peter is our sort of connective tissue, like our character that we relate to the most because he's from our time.
Yeah, he's our way into the world. He's the one that people have to teach things to.
Yeah. He's not incredibly likable though. And then you've got all these other characters that are questionable. Either they're grooming 5-year-olds or they're not doing much. So it's odd. It's really odd. I would say that Smeagol might be my favorite character, I guess.
Yeah.
So he's the older dragon. And he overcomes the ogre and saves Peter as Gorbash. And then he sort of sacrifices himself. He dies in that scene. But he's quite good.
Yes, he takes him under his wing. He's teaching him. He does the thing that all great mentors do in these movies, these quest movies. He dies. He sacrifices himself to save the hero. And he's got a great sense of humour too. So he's probably the most engaging character.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, because the others...
Yeah.
Are questionable.
They're either questionable or they're just sort of constant nags. Like Coriolanus is just like finger wagging for most of the movie.
Okay,
it's not terribly engaging.
How about our big bad Omadon?
Yes,
by James Earl Jones.
Well, James Earl Jones. That voice was just incredible. Rest in peace. There's a reason why he was so memorable, bringing Darth Vader to life.
And Mufasa as well, yes.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, another generation loves him from The Lion King, which completely passed me by. The voice is great. I mean, he does have a great presence in this movie.
Yeah, I love his voice is so textured and sort of there's so much depth to his voice. But he sounded like he had a cough almost in this movie. Like he really just wanted to clear his throat and sort of gargle some mouthwash or something. But yeah, he does sort of embody this evil wizard that wants man to just kill themselves with tanks and fear and atomic bombs. Like, he is evil.
Nobody does an evil cackle like James Earl Jones. I mean, it does come across like a smoker's cough at some point.
It does. Yeah. And the final showdown is pretty terrifying. He grows how many heads? 6?
Like 6 or 7 dragon heads. And he's essentially announcing that he's evil incarnate and nothing can stop him. And that's when the rotoscoping and backlit effects animation is happening. Yeah, it's quite impressive.
It's verging on like body horror at that point.
Yeah.
And you've got poor Peter, just a normal human from Boston, just shouting equations. It's like, how does this compute. This doesn't work. How is he winning here?
I know. Well, I thought the same when the evil dragon, whose name I have forgotten.
Oh, Briag. Yeah.
Briag is breathing fire on Sir Orin, and he's just holding up a sword in front of him. And I thought, is that going to do the trick, or is that going to roast him alive? And then he throws the flaming sword into the heart of the dragon and kills it.
Yeah.
And then dies, because he has been roasted in that armor after all. So, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I was confused by that as well, because he's literally on fire. And then he throws the sword, and you would think a dragon would be fireproof, wouldn't you? But no, Briag just catches fire and dies. Yeah, another confusing scene for me.
Yes, he basically goes up like the Hindenburg. I think it's because they're full of hydrogen.
Right.
So if you pierce it with a flaming sword, then he will explode.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Not the safest mode of travel.
I mean, I will have to say, despite the sort of janky animation, I did love the sort of background illustrations, and it kind of did have that, even though I never watched this movie as growing up, it did have a sense of that warm nostalgia vibe, kind of similar to Secret of Nim. Not the same caliber of animation, but there is something quite comforting about this movie. Can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah, it's charming, and it has lots of lovely details in there. Like when they're explaining why dragons sleep on gold, because it's the only inflammable thing that's quite soft for them. So that explains why they have these hoards and things. So it's got lots of interesting characters and lovely details. And you're right, it does have an aura around it.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it and thinking, okay, this completely passed me by as a child. But if I'd seen it as a child, could it have become like a beloved childhood artifact that I would have looked back on fondly, which may be why Ryan A. Potter has nominated it for it.
Yeah. Because I can't quite put my finger on it. Why there's something still engaging about the movie. I guess maybe it's the quest that they keep having all these things happen to them, or meeting new characters. That's engaging. There is the final goal of defeating Omadon. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it that does still draw you in, despite a lot of scenes not working or feeling like lazy writing. You know, when you're having a foe to defeat and just someone else just comes and saves the day. Like, where did they come from? Like the Arag, he saves them from the sand mercs. They're doomed. They are. But he just jumps in, this talking wolf, and kills the king sandmerc, or whatever, the head
queen.
But he's only tasked to do this because he's drowning in the sea. Solarius, one of the wizards, appears and goes, "Oh, if you save our heroes from the sandmercs, I will bring you back to life." And that happens?
Yeah, that happens.
It just seems so convenient. Surely that would never happen.
I know, it's odd. There are lots of odd cutaways and flashbacks.
Yeah.
Inopportune moments in this movie.
Yeah.
It's quite bizarre. Like when you see Sir Orin's backstory with Gorbash and the 5-year-old Princess Melisande, Briag is eating an entire nest worth of dragon eggs, and he intervenes, and the only one he manages to save is Gorbash. So he gives him to Princess Melisande. But it's like, why is this happening now? Why am I seeing this now?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Other than introducing me to the idea that he's a horrible grooming creep, but it meanders a little.
It does.
But it's always sort of charming and like comfort food for kids, I guess.
There's just enough going on for it to be captivating. And then the next scene happens. And then, because I feel like it's borrowing from a lot of other fantasy too, like Lord of the Rings and some of the sort of more fairy tale fantasy, like almost like Snow White. Melisande is in eternal slumber, and she gets woken up because she's kissed by Peter. Like, there's a lot of borrowing from other fantasy stories.
It is, yeah, just creating this unique thing that tries to create science around the principles of flying dragons, which I'm not sure whether that works.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I did like was the fact that you have dragons as some of the main characters, and they're talking dragons, which I don't think I've really seen that much before. Like, I mean, Smaug is a talking dragon in Lord of the Rings, but apart from that, it was kind of a nice insight into being a dragon, I guess.
Yeah, you do get that, I guess, as Peter is transformed or possesses Gorbash, you get sort of inducted into the ways of dragon life.
Yeah.
Which you don't get in How to Train Your Dragon or Game of Thrones, for example.
They're just animals. They don't speak. I did find that they were a bit mean to those dwarves, though. You know, they're shouting at them to get gems.
Yeah, threatening.
Yeah. You don't give us gems to just eat. They're eating gems. Yeah. It's an odd world, this fantasy land.
But apparently worth preserving at all costs in this nature reserve style domed
retirement
fantasy
village.
land.
Yeah.
Yes. I do love the fact that Omadon refers to it as a retirement village.
It really is. It really is. It really is.
Now it's time for random trivia.
So Dan, what fabulous piece of trivia did you learn from antiquity today?
Well, Jules Bass. Is it Bass or Bass?
I've always said Bass. I could be wrong though.
Well, Jules Bass, one of the founders of Rankin and Bass Productions, he has or had since become a vegetarian. And he released a book in 1999 called Herb, the Vegetarian Dragon, illustrated by Debbie Harter, and it explores moral issues related to vegetarianism and was a bestseller along with its follow-up cookbook, Cooking with Herb, the Vegetarian Dragon.
Oh, wow.
Designed for children and features recipes that can be made with adult supervision. Some of the dishes include Grandmama Flora's spaghetti sandwich, Herb's chili con no carne, Herb's those amazing potatoes, the King's favorite veggie burger, and Herb's radical dragon salsa.
Wow. Okay. I'm tempted to look this up now to see whether I can take advantage of some of these recipes.
I mean, yeah, in late 90s, I feel like vegetarianism wasn't really, still very not a thing. Like, I don't think I knew any vegetarians in the 90s.
No, there was always like one weird kid in class whose parents were sort of post-hippie generation.
Right, yeah.
That everyone bullied. But other than that, but still, spaghetti sandwich though.
I don't know. Americans, it's they do all sorts of weird things.
And that's our trivia.
Oh, yes. One thing I did want to mention, the movie does take a while to kind of get going. It's like a good 30 minutes where it's a lot of backstory, a lot of like setup. We don't even see Peter until like, I don't know, 28 minutes in. They don't really go on a quest until like another 5-10 minutes later after that. Like, it does take a bit of time. I felt like they could have, moved it along a bit.
Yeah, and it wasn't what you're expecting either, because almost immediately Peter is turned into a dragon. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't expecting the time travel transportation either. Like, I thought, you know, we found our hero, he's just like in the next village. No, he's 700 years in the future or whatever it is.
Yeah, and then he goes rocketing through a black hole sitting on some dice.
Yeah.
And then free falls through the sky until a dragon catches him. It's different.
It is. I guess we should talk about the music. So the score felt very medieval to me.
It did in places, yeah. It had that sort of medieval plus tambourine quality to it that was quite enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's by Maury Laws. I think Rankin Bass didn't have many permanent members of staff. They had the screenwriter Romeo Muller, and they had Maury laws, and the rest of the staff, of course, was all outsourced to other countries. So he's one of their regular contributors right from the very beginning, and of course composed a song voiced by Don McLean.
Yes, that song was it didn't feel 80s at all.
No.
It felt very 70s prog.
It did, didn't it? Just, yeah. A bit folky, bit hippie as well, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like prog lends itself to medieval sounding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the instrumentation felt very small, like sort of chamber groups, a lot of like strings, woodwind, harp, and a smaller size ensemble of instruments rather than an orchestral, big sounding, which suited the sort of the medieval setting for sure.
It did, yeah. And he managed to get a lot of colours out of it. I mean, it's largely monothematic, I think. I don't think there are a huge amount of different themes or leitmotifs going around in here, but he did create a different ambience for each scene that came along, and then just had the main theme cropping up every time you needed something to sort of remind you of the main characters and their quest.
Yeah, I mean, I think it worked, and it didn't feel lazy or like, you know, just bashing a synclavier or something like that. Like it felt like a proper score.
Yeah, they put effort into it. There's something they didn't skimp on was the music, which I appreciate. It's sad, actually. It's never been released, apparently, commercially.
Yeah. I mean, I would guess a lot of TV movies wouldn't release scores, right?
No, it's very, very rare. It's sort of retrospective releases, if anything. So I'm just surprised that this one hasn't gotten some sort of deluxe vinyl treatment or something for Record Store Day. Not yet.
Was this movie also influenced by Dungeons and Dragons? I mean,
you'd like to think so, yeah. I mean, his board game looks suspiciously like almost the point of legal action similar.
Right, yeah.
To D&D.
Yeah.
So they must have been picking up on that as a trend that they wanted to capitalise on.
When was D&D sort of invented or created?
It's around the same time, isn't it?
Oh, it first published in 1974.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. Would have been definitely very popular in the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, it's even mentioned in like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, there's a character that's addicted to Dungeons and Dragons, although they don't name it specifically. And there's a horror movie with Tom Hanks in it, isn't there?
Is there?
That's about Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, it's called like Volcanoes and Ladders or something.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Something like that. Mazes and Monsters.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I would love to cover that. That's from 1982.
Oh, same year. Oh, wow.
Made for TV. I smell a Minnesota.
Coming to you live from the Movie Oubliette Theatre, it's the prestigious Mobley Awards.
Okay, it's the Mobley Awards where we nominate our favourite magical tool saving parts of the film in a number of ogre pulverising categories.
Best quote.
My favourite quote is probably the premise of the film, which is Coriolanus the Green Wizard, after he's witnessed a swan and some fairies getting mangled by a watermill. He shouts, "The worlds of magic and logic must exist side by side, not destroy each other."
Oh, yes.
Yes. And that's in the first 10 minutes. He could just sort of stop the video and rewind there, really, but he has to prove it for another hour and a half.
Of course. My favourite quote is from Sir Oren, actually. It's his last speech during the fight with Briag. It's quite quotable, actually. So he says, while holding up his sword, he says, "Blade with whom I have lived, blade with whom I now die, serve right and justice one last time, seek one last heart of evil, still one last life of pain. Cut well, old friend, and then farewell."
Wow.
Oh, goosebumps. I loved it.
Yeah, it is quite noble, and it captures that thing that Rankin Bass did in this and The Last Unicorn and perhaps some of their other things, which is have this sort of morbid, fatalistic melancholy to it that appealed to kids that like the darker side of animation and fairy tales. Yeah.
Best hair or costume.
I thought there were quite a few good costumes in this movie. I mean, it's different. It's animation, so it's slightly different to live action. But I was a bit concerned about Peter's costume after he's been burnt by the dragon when he first enters the fantasy magical land, and then they give him this new ensemble, which is very short. I'm pretty sure he's not wearing tights, right? It's a very short tunic, this red tunic with, I think it's called a bicocket hat. That sort of Robin Hood looking hat.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, well, I looked at it. I don't know how to pronounce it as well. That could be completely wrong. But yes, bit revealing.
Yeah, don't splay your legs when you sit down, I guess.
Yeah.
I quite liked his look when he was first introduced, which is side parting, grey slacks, grey scarf, orange bow tie, orange and yellow striped V-neck sweater, and a brown jacket. Yum. I mean...
Yeah.
Most 80s moment.
So I thought the most 80s thing about this movie was the blend of magic and science. Because this happened a lot, actually, when you think about it. There's lots of bespectacled nerds exploring fantasy lore with science, or blending it.
Okay.
So you've got Ghostbusters, we've got preeminent scientists capturing ghosts. You got Explorers, where Wolfgang creates a force field that can travel through space with his Apple Mac. And you have Johnny Five in Short Circuit achieving consciousness through a bolt of lightning.
Right.
Yeah. So it just feels as though you had to mix magic and science a little bit in the 80s. Another one I thought of is Krull, which sort of feels like it should be a medieval fantasy adventure, but also there's lasers for some reason.
Yeah.
And the invaders are from space. So it's kind of a weird mishmash in the early 80s. Not sure why.
Yeah, I guess you would also lump Star Wars in with that as well, because it was a fantasy, but it was sci-fi. But it was a fantasy, really.
Yeah, exactly. So it's both. We got both in that era, just all jumbled together, which is interesting.
Yeah. So my most 80s, I felt like there was a lot of grooming in the 80s. Am I wrong? What? Or, I don't know. There seemed to be a lot of, like, now questionable romances in movies. With young women and, like, much older men. Or maybe that was all through time. Maybe it wasn't an 80s thing. But yeah, that shocked me in this movie. That would never fly now. Ever.
No, absolutely not. No. But there was a sense right up until this point that women were essentially just, bred and grown for men to eventually marry and take home and put in the kitchen. So,
yeah.
Favorite scene?
I like the use of the flute of Olympus. So they get bestowed these magical tools, and they finally get to use it. It was kind of annoying that Solarius had to appear and tell them, you should probably use that shield now for them to actually use it. It's like, why didn't they think to use it before? But anyway, the flute of Olympus is played by Giles, I think. And then it puts all the dragons to sleep because they are about to be pummeled by hundreds of dragons under the spell of Omadon. But yes, the flute puts them all to sleep, and it's just quite a sort of surreal, magical scene, seeing all of these hundreds of dragons just falling asleep and descending to the ground.
Yeah, it's a lovely motif as well that Maury Laws composed for it.
On the flute, yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah. How about you? Favourite scene?
My favourite scene was Peter's journey to the magical realm, rocketing into a black hole on a dice and endlessly falling through centuries to see a dragon for the first time. And he's so excited about it, even when he gets singed by one. He says, I've just been singed by a dragon. He's like, it's like when somebody meets a rock star and they, I don't know, spit on them or something and they're thrilled about it. Yeah, I love that. It was full of promise and excitement, and at least it felt as though, okay, our protagonist is here, we're on the way now.
Most cliché moment.
The villain is defeated because the hero denies their power.
Ooh, yes.
Peter and Omadon. So this happened with Sarah and the Goblin King in Labyrinth, 1986. You have no power over me, Sarah says. And David Bowie in his Jodhpurs is defeated. Another case of grooming, I think. It's a bit of an inappropriate age gap. Nancy and Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. She just turns her back on him and says, you don't have any power. I'm ignoring you. Coraline and the Other Mother, she denies her reality. And that tears her world apart. In It Part 2, spoilers, the way they defeat the clown is just to tell him that he's worthless and doesn't have any power over them. Yeah, happens a lot. Just suddenly decide, I'm not buying into this reality anymore, so you're doomed.
Best special effect.
Well, it's pretty difficult to pick out a special effect in an animated movie, but I did like the backlit animation when Peter is battling the Omadon, because there's lots of big, brightly lit cyan explosions, like neon animation that's very redolent of the 80s animation style.
Yeah.
So I like that. I thought it achieved the effect that it was trying to achieve, but there isn't much.
Yeah, it's
really
not as striking as Secret of Nim, that sort of backlit stuff. But yeah, it works. I've already mentioned the sort of exquisite, detailed, illustrated backgrounds. Love that. But I did also like that scene with the tree. Was the tree actually called Antiquity?
Oh, maybe it wasn't.
I wasn't sure. But yeah, there is a scene where Carolinus talks to a tree that is a talking tree, I guess. But it grows and it's glowing and it kind of pulsates and it's I guess backlit animation. But it looks great. It looks really ethereal and magical.
Yes.
Favorite sound effect.
I have to say, so the sandmerks, that chattering sound, is that the sound I keep talking about? That sort of insect hissing, almost like a hissing sound that I keep hearing?
Right.
I'm not sure whether that's the
be.
same sound, but it's very similar. But it's this kind of sound that they use for the sandmerks.
Yeah, and it is irritating.
Yes,
so
it is.
Yeah. Mission accomplished.
Sound for you.
My favourite was a moment when Coriolanus says to Princess Melisande right at the beginning, because he wants to let all of his brothers know that he wants to get together. And so he asks her to summon the owls.
Oh, yes.
Which is something that's in Harry Potter, owls as messengers. And she goes over to the window, opens her mouth, and a synthesizer noise comes out.
And it's a kind of an odd sounding, it almost sounds like a detuned, like resonance kind of synth. It's very strange to hear coming from a human woman.
Yeah, it's not like it's a human voice that's been sampled in some way to make it sound slightly ethereal or strange. It's just like, oh, okay. Yeah. Wasn't expecting that. Fine.
Most funniest moment.
For me, the funniest moment is when Peter is trying to sell family heirlooms in the pawn shop, and the pawn shop owner replies, your heirs didn't loom so big. I thought that was actually quite a good one-liner.
Nice. Yeah, because it's just a pocket watch, right? Like, I mean, how much was he going to get for that? Come on.
Yeah, the guy says if I gave you 54, I'd get fired. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Poor Peter.
Funniest moment for me was during the exchange between all the wizard brothers near the start of the film, and Carolinus is warning them that magic is fading, and the brother Lo Tao Zhao says, it is because man is choosing logic over magic, and the brother Solarius asks, but why? And Lo Tao Zhao replies, because logic is so logical.
Bit of a circular argument there.
I just love how his reply is almost, he's not even sure whether this is the right answer because logic is so logical. And that's our Movie Awards.
It is.
I'm Mary Jo Peel, and you are listening to Movie Oubliette.
Final verdict time. Should The Flight of Dragons be released from its shackles to fly free and be adored by all its dragon fanatics? Or should it be overpowered by scientific equations, driven mad by the sandmerks, retreating back into the oubliette to spend eternity in obscurity? So Ryan A. Potter, our patron, has presented us with The Flight of Dragons. Conrad, final verdict for this movie.
Yeah, this is a little bit like Don't Look Under the Bed for me because it is clearly a piece that relies heavily on you seeing it as a child and having a nostalgic link back to it. And it's something that completely passed me by in the 80s just because Rankin Bass did not travel, it seems, beyond their native country.
No.
So I'm trying to project myself into it and think, hey, you know, I must sort of take that into account and give it a bit of a break, because you could easily say the animation's not great, the story doesn't really add up to much, the theme's charming, but as you pointed out, possibly a bit contradictory. Your main protagonist is not all that thrilling. The female character is, I mean, it's of its time. She doesn't have much to do.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of limitations, but there is something that's quite charming about it that sort of buoys it along. So I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to say let it go, but on the other hand, it still didn't quite connect with me. And I know that I should try and add in a nostalgia factor that I don't have, but it just, if I were to look at it really coldly and say, is this a hidden gem that people absolutely must see because if they've missed it to fill out their fantasy genre knowledge or enjoyment? I'm not sure I'd let it go. I'm really not sure it could quite pass that bar for me. But I did appreciate it, and I was charmed by aspects of it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. A lot of this movie doesn't work. Like, a lot of the plot doesn't work. The themes are unclear. I mean, they're clear, but they contradict themselves. Animation's not great. Did love the illustrated background, so amazing. I still think there's something charming about this. I still can't put my finger on it, but there is something that still works for me. And maybe it's because it's just a quest movie and you've got knights and dragons, and there aren't that many, especially animated movies with like conventional knights and dragons and, you know, your normal fantasy elves and dwarves and ogres and stuff.
That's very true.
I don't think there are that many. I mean, I guess there's Wizards and the Lord of the Rings and all of those animated sequels. But yeah, I don't know. There is still something charming. I hated the ending, though. Blurting out science equations to defeat the evil wizard is not how I wanted this movie to end. So there's that, I guess. But there is something still endearing about this movie, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Even though Sir Orin may be in the
would
Epstein
release
files.
it.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would release it. I think I would. I don't know.
Wow. So we're split, as per usual, with Dan being the more generous giving person and me being more of the curmudgeon. So I guess we should check out the patrons' vote. Hello, Gary.
Hello.
Can we have the patrons' vote, please?
and I decided to set it free.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So they did agree with me.
They did, yeah. But it was not sort of a slam dunk. It was 3/4 one way and a quarter the other way.
Ah, right.
Jasmine says, I was somehow unaware of this movie until recent years, which is strange given I seem to know all about 80s animated oddities. There are a lot of great ideas and characters packed into a movie too small to contain them all. The animation is less than stellar, and it looks like it was intended for television rather than the big screen. Still, I find the story entertaining enough to allow it to fly out of the oubliette.
I agree.
Yeah. Whereas on the other hand, Film Aficionado says, Flight of Dragons is an ambitious but flawed attempt to wedge 2 fantasy books into the constraints of a 90-minute movie. While the world building and the dragon science is interesting, the inordinate amount of time spent on them results in a poorly paced story. There are also too many characters given the runtime. Why not jettison the elf and the wolf and merge Melisande and Danielle? The theme of science versus magic is a neat angle, but its devolution into Peter reciting theories during the climax is a letdown.
Yeah, I mean, it was a letdown for me too.
Yeah. Creative visuals like Omadon's Hydra form are underwhelmed by the unappealing character design, lackluster animation, and unexciting action. How does 2 dragons fighting a giant ogre wind up being so dull? Like many 80s kids, I was charmed by the fantasy spectacle of Flight of Dragons, but alas, the movie has not maintained its luster. Toss it back.
Yeah. I mean, I do think a lot of nostalgia is sort of ingrained in this movie for a lot of people.
So. Yeah, I think you're right. So all well argued, but ultimately people treasured it. They wanted to set it free. Retro Blasting just said, free it! And Wicked Person says, it's flawed, but charming. Which
Yes.
I think is where we landed.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
All right, let's set it free.
Yes. Goodbye, Flight of Dragons.
I'm being sent by a dragon. Bye.
All right, Conrad, what is going to be in our last episode for 2025? What's the movie?
Well, we're looking at the 1944 American psychological supernatural thriller, The Curse of the Cat People.
Oh, I haven't seen Cat People.
No, me neither.
This is the sequel, right?
It is. This is the sequel. So I'm going to actually end up watching both. They're both fairly short.
Okay.
Curse of the Cat People is only 70 minutes, so it's not going to overstay its welcome.
Okay.
But it is set at Christmas time. And this was pointed out to us by our returning friend of the pod guest, who I'm very excited to chat about this movie with.
Yeah, I mean, Cat People has been on my watch list for a long time. It's kind of one of those movies that people talk about. I'm pretty sure our guest Amanda Janestein has mentioned that movie.
Yes.
When she was on.
Yeah, as like a seminal text that we really should have seen by now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch both of them and to talk about The Curse of the Cat People.
Can't wait.
Christmas treat.
Okay, well, listeners, if you do want to keep up to date with all our episodes in the future, you can follow us on all platforms as Movie Oubliette, and you can email us directly at movie.oubliette@gmail.com.
And if you'd like to support the show, nominate things for us to cover like Ryan A. Potter did for today's episode, then head on over to Patreon, where you can get ad-free feed and get extra bonus content. Or for $5, you get our bonus minisodes and vote on the final verdict. Or for $10, you can be an executive producer like Chisilla, Isaac Sutton, Dr. Doggy, Serge, iconographer Nick Hardy, and Ryan A. Potter.
Yes, thank you all for supporting us. It does keep the lights on.
Yeah.
We have merchandise at Redbubble and a YouTube channel. And also, if you haven't already, another thing you can do to help us out is to give us a rating and review on whatever platform you're listening to us on.
Yeah, please do. It will appear on the homepage of our website.
Yes.
Magically.
Ooh. Not through science, though.
No.
Through magic.
Through magic. Exclusively through magic.
Yes. Well, Conrad, I can't wait for our Christmas episode coming up.
Yeah.
But that's it's almost the end of the year.
Yeah.
How it has flown.
It has indeed, yeah. Can't wait.
Okay. Until the next episode, listeners, goodbye.
Bye for now.
We review the films others tend to forget. Come with us and open up the movie Oubliette.
By the beards of antiquity.
Parles-tu français?
¿Hablas español?
Parli italiano?
If you've used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based technique teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world. With lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/acast. Spelled BABBEL.com/acast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states.